Good evening, you beautiful, beautiful people, and welcome back again to another edition of your Celtic Supporters Podcast. Friday Night Live, coming off of a fantastic, fantastic evening last night for Celtic, gentlemen. So we'll jump into that very, very quickly because I think our sprinkling of positivity on Monday paid off a wee bit there as well. So we're all good there. Guys, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will obviously give our shout out to our two sponsors. Our clothing sponsor, Adalantes.com. Use CSP5 at the checkout. There's that there. Just run across the bottom there. And our second is Dennis Devlin, Pro Sports Media. Please follow him on all the socials as well for all the up-to-date following of Scottish football. Kevin, my man, how has your week been, sir?
It's been very good. It's been a good week. The house is just a bit recovered again, and that's the main thing. So, and I had a wee 3-day week as well. So I did. So it's been a good week. Started off well with a really good pod with the 5As on Monday night, and it's been a great week since then. And I'm thoroughly looking forward to getting tore into this one tonight after a great result last night. You know, some cracking performances and but a positivity again at least on the playing side of things, which we'll get to. So all good. Bit about yourself, Augie.
Aye, mate. If I could go into the week that I had as well, I would be here for the next 10 minutes fucking complaining about it. But the good thing is the working week is done. I have some flask juice that I'm getting tore into as well. So mate, it's good. I'm off next week as well, so that's a good thing. So I've got a good bit of chill at time ahead. But again, as always, I look forward to Friday nights. I look forward to kicking off my weekend with you guys as well. So I am fairly looking forward to getting tore in. And again, you're right, Kev, there's a lot of positives to take from last night as well. But there's always going to be that wee bit of bite back on some of the negative stuff as well that we've seen as well, which again, we'll cover there. But Andy, how are you, brother?
I'm good, aye. Good to be on the night. A bit disappointed that Baz isn't on. I was looking forward to a wee duel with him, but aye, good to be back on. Pretty no bad week. So, and a fantastic result last night in that game. So, aye, all good. That Martinelli effect, innit? The feel good factor's back.
It is, mate, and it's kind of cliche as well to kind of say Messiah and St. Martin and stuff like that as well. But the difference that he's made in that squad as well, for the same person to person as well that the previous manager had, and the results that he's able to pull out and the way that the guys are able to play. Again, we'll jump into what the difference is in that wee bit tonight as well. But I just think it's fantastic what he's doing. Now, you mentioned obviously Barry is not going to be joining us tonight. Barry's got other stuff that he's doing tonight, but Paul will be joining us. Paul is many of you will be aware, Paul's timekeeping sometimes can be a wee bit tardy. So the man is enjoying his dinner. We'll leave him to his dinner there as well. But Kevin, first of all, European performance. We spoke about it on Monday, and it was like, what is the real expectation here? Because a lot of people have been turned off the European campaign because of the way that the league campaign's going. Because we're on our arse basically for the league as well. So folk are kind of saying that the league, that the Europa League doesn't really matter as such. But I think the performance that the guys put in last night, first of all, with 11 men, I thought they were amazing. And then the 10 men performance as well, again, showed you a different side of that. But it kind of showed that Celtic are very interested in this Europa League as well and progressing from it.
Oh, aye, definitely. It's a competition in the professionals. So you should be looking to be winning every game. And performing to the best of your ability in every game, regardless of what competition you're playing in. I predicted a 1-1 draw. Obviously, I was wrong again, but we did get the draw. I agree with the manager though. I think if we'd have kept 11 men in the park, we could have come out of that with a victory last night and 3 points. But it's not my favourite competition, but I still bought my package and I've still been going to the games and I'll still be there on Thursday night as well. But it's not the fact that it's not the competition, it's the Thursday. It's the Thursday, which means Sunday football. You know what I mean? That's the pain in the backside, to be perfectly honest with you, but it is what it is. Would I like to see us winning Thursday in progress? Of course I would, know what I mean? Who wouldn't? It just means it's another couple of games added onto your season at the back end of it when we're obviously toiling with a bit of a depleted squad and not exactly bringing in a stack of bodies. We'll get 2 so far. 2's better than none, but I'm expecting another 2. But I thought last night was a very good performance. It was a disciplined performance. It was a professional performance. But they played with a bit of passion. They played with a bit of heart. They played with a bit of desire. They played with a will to win. They played for themselves. They played for each other, and they played for their manager. And it just confirms that everything that we've already known is that Brendan Rodgers had lost the dressing room and Wilfred Nancy never had it. Know what I mean? And in some of the performances last night, and big Trusty Scales at the back, who I'm not a fan of, 2 of them were outstanding. That was the Dyson Maida that we all fell in love with.
Yeah.
That's the best performance. It was Kieran Tierney as well, you know what I mean? So
we'll not jump too much into performances, because I've got a spotlight for us a wee bit later on as well, and 2 of those names that you mentioned are on my spotlight for the night. So let's not jump too much into the player performances now. And you mentioned obviously about the new boy. We've signed 2 new guys, and 2 of them are basically going to go straight into the team. Now, it'll be interesting to see if and when AJ comes back and what happens with obviously Arajo, to see what happens there. But you've signed 2 guys that arguably are going to be playing first team. Now, we've not seen the striker yet, but I'm kind of liking the cut of his jib, Andy. And Kevin mentioned there as well, just a wee thing to kind of jump off of there, that it confirms what we already knew, that Brendan had lost the dressing room and Wilfred Nancy never had the dressing room. Would you agree with what Kevin's saying there, that Brendan, first of all, lost that dressing room?
I certainly think it didn't help when he was comparing them to Honda Civics and stuff like that. You know, that's something that you'll never hear from Martin O'Neill. No. Just touching on the kind of whole attitude side of it and what he says to the players, that thing that happened with Hatate last night, you could tell at the time he was absolutely raging, and he came out talking after the game, and he's not the type of player to fling a player under the bus. Yeah. But you can guarantee you getting in at half time that he was absolutely going through him like a ton of bricks. But he's also, and he's also get that about him, that he's very good. He's a very, very good man manager. And people say, oh, you know, he's not a training ground manager on the pitch and stuff like that. He is. He's a very good coach. He's not just a motivator and a man manager. He's a very good coach, very experienced. And certainly when you look at this season, Michelin apart, he certainly knows how to set Celtic up against European opposition. Uh-huh. He's a very good man manager. He knows how to control a dressing room. He knows the right things to say. And I think that's maybe where you talk about Rodgers. I think Rodgers' head was out the door, to be honest with you. I just don't think he cared anymore. And Wilfred Nancy was just... He was in the wrong movie. I think we all eventually realised that. It was just in fact, just when you're watching that game last night, you almost forgot all about Nancy Diggy and the small period of time that he was in charge. And listen, it was that bad that you wanted to forget about it. So I just think Martin O'Neill was legendary status at Celtic, obviously for his first time here. But he's also a man with huge experience. More experience than what Brendan Rodgers can give you, more experience than obviously that Wilfred Nancy. We are very lucky, very, very lucky that we've managed to get him in, not just once, but twice this season. Because I really don't know where we would be without him. You know, he'd really steady the ship and get us back on track.
I'm pretty sure there would have been another option out there as well to go to, but I think that there's arguments kind of for and against Martin O'Neill, or no for and against Martin O'Neill as such, but the reasoning for why he was brought in, because although he's doing a fantastic job with the team, and listen, we all know it's no great fit by the new as well, but the important thing is the results that we're getting. But the back end of it is that he's almost that shield between the fans and the board, and it's like almost the board's pull a flanker on us as well, because they've built in a guy as well that nobody's really going to be upending or going too far against Martin O'Neill when he's sitting there as well. So it's one of the ones that a lot of people are a bit kind of, yes, he's doing great for us, but I'm not going to say a plant by the board as well, but he's somebody that the board are putting in there as well to buy them some time. And whether that buying the time as well as buying the time to get by this January transfer window, whether they're going to give him what he wants. But Andy, I'll stick with you in this one because I'd mentioned to Kev earlier on about the kind of or Kev had mentioned, sorry, about the window. But the fact that if we do qualify on Thursday, so this is a big game on Thursday, if we do qualify, is this more of an endorsement as well that board need to give him more players? Because if we're extending our European journey for another, let's say another 2 games, which is another more or less month of your season, then that's another month as well that you're going to be playing on 3 fronts, because we're still in the Scottish, obviously we're in the league and we're in Europa League. Rangers get papped out, Hearts are papped out, both cups as well, so Hearts have only got the league ahead is. So does this mean that we need to basically make sure that there is another 2-3 bodies coming in this transfer window to help us with the demand that's going to come if we continue in Europa League?
Hoggy, it's not even in today with Europa League. I think if we progress in that, it's a bonus considering the way this season started. We need players in just to compete in our own league and try and retain our title, you know. So this is where the quality is required, for me anyway, domestically first.
Yeah.
If you don't do it domestically, then you're then passing on, and I'm going to go financial here, that you're putting another team is going to benefit out of what we have benefited out of for years and years now. You're giving them the opportunity that probably would take the opportunity to really strengthen our team because they get the funds to do it. That where we have failed to do it, we already know that our board only, you know, willing to push the boat out to compete in Europe. We've seen it. The evidence is there. They're quite happy to just get there and take whatever they can get. You don't see real progression. You're hoping that they're not going to mess Martin about. If Martin wants players in, even if it's to the end of the season, then they're going to give him who. It's so important that we win this league. That it could put in big changes in the way that we go forward if we don't win the league.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of people, I've seen a couple of people saying, could it be a bad thing if we win the league? Because then it's playing right into the board's hands. Look how bad a season we've had so far, and we're still winning the league. Things are all right. Things are good. I think no matter what happens this season, there is going to be change at the top at Celtic, 100%, because this cannot carry on. The toxicity between the fans and the board simply the club can't sustain this type of atmosphere. It's really, and the thing is, as fans, all you want to do is just go and support your team and, you know, see them doing well. Nobody really wants to have a lot of negativity about their club, but unfortunately, the way it's turned out this season, it's like a perfect storm of negativity, if you know what I mean. So, I think no matter what, we need players in, whether we are competing in Europe or whether we're fucked out. It doesn't matter. We need bodies in and pronto. Yeah.
Well, we've spoke often enough about the actions that drive the emotional response, and I think there's you know what I'm like. Barry will be sitting there cringing me saying this as well. But my response is, you've got logic and you've got emotion. The fact that what's happened at Celtic, and obviously me and Paul, and obviously in our chat last night had a wee kind of chat about the video, which we'll come in. We'll discuss that video in just a wee bit as well. We'll not spend too much time on that. But you're going to have actions provoke a response. And the response is either sitting logical and thinking about it for 360, or it's on emotion. And I think there's lots of people as well that's reacting on emotion to that kind of stuff that's happening there, Andy. And that's what's driving this big fucking gulf in us. And you're right. There needs to be change somewhere. Now, what that change is, who the fuck knows? But we'll come to that in a wee bit. Paul, welcome in, brother.
Tardy, you say, is it? My timekeeping.
I said tardy, mate. Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. Yes.
Nice choice of words, so I'll get like that. I am all right. Aye, very good. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I have my Friday routines, and I'm fucking so routine driven. I have to follow them. So gym and hating dinner and whatnot. So apologises for being late. Aye, so just caught obviously what you were saying just before I came on. Very good performance last night, I thought. Yeah. Really, really good performance. Don't go too deep into the individuals because I know we're quite the same. We've got some lined up for that hockey. But aye, good week. Obviously just concentrating on last night. For the full disclosure, I did not watch the last 10 minutes, even at 53-year-old. I still panic, and I was expecting the usual sucker punch. So had away like a big shite bag for the last 10 minutes, just keep an eye on live score. I couldn't bring myself to watch it because I thought the disappointment after the effort we put in would have been too much. So I cowardly sneaked away and just kept my eye on I've got a superstition with that, and it worked last night because we got the result. So all good, and that's been the highlight of my week. Louise is watching. I'm just thinking, was there anything else I've fucking done that should have been a bigger highlight than the football? I didn't think so. And yes, I did have my chops, Louise. Thanks very much. I even marinated them myself. You'll be pleased to know. So all good. Wasn't as good when you make them, but to be fair, but there we go.
Lauren, yes, I mentioned there as well about the video. Yes, we will get a wee discussion on that because we had a good wee discussion on it last night as well. So we'll definitely have a wee bit on that. But Paul, so while you're here, I'll stick with you in this one. So I'm kind of like you now. I had some stuff today last night. My car was in for its MOT today and it passed. Woo! But I had some stuff today last night, so I didn't catch the start of the game, so I didn't really get to see the Celtic performance pre-Rio. But I turned it on literally about a minute before fucking Rio Hatate get sent off.
Yeah.
So just on the performance as well, before we went down to 10 men as well, what was your thoughts on that again? Getting into a European team again, and Bologna, yeah, in a European status as well, might not be up there with the big names, but they're a decent team. They're an Italian team. They're a hard-working team. And they showed that as well last night as well. So before the Hatate incident then as well, what was your thoughts on Celtic's performance?
Thought they were playing really well. There was shit. I can't freeze. Bit, so hopefully you can hear me. I had shades of Atalanta, didn't I? There was a very much Atalanta kind of vibe about that performance last night, and obviously we'll come to the individuals that sum up that assessment. Thought we were doing obviously getting the early goal, but a mistake with their keeper, with the closing down. Obviously the wee man who was fantastic again. Maeda was back to his very best last night, I thought. And then I thought we were
Oh, he's froze.
I was going to say, I think Paul needs to get 50 pence to the meter or else go out and come back in. But Andy, so what Paul was I think getting onto there was just the Hatate incident then. So we started pretty well. Martin O'Neill after the game said that if we'd kept 11 men on the park as well, I was pretty confident we would have beat them. Now we're 1-0 up at the time. In your mind, what Hatate did there, was it stupidity? Was he basically kind of bought into it? Was he suckered into it? Or what was your kind of take on the sending off or the second booking? Let's say it wasn't a straight red, it was a second booking. What was your take on it?
I think it was about 3 minutes between the first booking and the sending off. I think Martin said he thought it was accidental. I think he's still kind of put himself in that position, especially if they're getting that first foul away, that there was really no need for that. I thought his first booking was a silly challenge, especially away in Europe hockey. You know, this happens to us quite often. We get a player sent off and then you're up against it. It just so happens it was we were 2 goals up at a time, you know. Otherwise, it would have been a real struggle, at least when that happened at that time. We had something to hold on to. We had a 2-goal cushion because we knew it was going to be tough. It is tough to go away in Europe. I thought it was very Atalanta-esque when it comes to the defending. But I think what we done last night compared to the Atalanta game, it's carried a much bigger threat up front, and we showed that. We scoring 2 goals. Yeah. And hindsight's a great thing, but if Hatate stays on, I think it's the 30th minute he gets sent off or something like that. You know, so we were certainly, we had the momentum. There was a good chance we could have scored another goal if Hatate stayed on the park in that first half. Yeah. And then you've got this a real good result to hold on to. Gone one man down, getting sent off. But we did Was it the 30th minute? Hatate gets sent off.
Yeah.
It was. So he gets set. We only scored one goal before then because 39th minute we get a second one. So to get the second goal with 10 men was fantastic and a great time in the game as well. You're in at half time and you're just trying to kind of reorganise and really get it into the lead. You need to be really disciplined with the defence here and take any scraps that you can get when it comes to getting the ball up the park. I agree with Paul. I think it gets to that point. It's Celtic away in Europe, and you're hiding behind the couch or wherever you happen to be. It's just unbearable to watch, isn't it, Paul?
Aye, mate. We've been there so many times. Although it's becoming less regular. I mean, that's a few games now we've kind of bucked the trend. And obviously I presume we'll cover Rio Hatate, but up until that point, I mean, they looked a decent side. I mean, they had a decent side. I thought the wee Argentinian fella was superb. I thought the lad on the right, the English guy that they got from Marseille, was tremendous. He was getting on my fucking nerves, actually. Never put a foot wrong. But then again, without going into individual performances, our back four to a man were brilliant. I really thought they were excellent. Yeah. And I got right hand up until the sending off. And even after it, back and forward, we looked a threat. But I thought he sold the jerseys, man. So totally sold the fucking jersey. I've seen some people saying that he didn't, and it was a harsh sitting booting. What's a fuck? It's a booting ordeal. He's on a booting. His petulance, not for the first time, by the way. The second time in one game, actually. The first booting was stupid as well and petulant. So he sold the jerseys, and I mean, on the chat last night, I emotionally saying it would be the last time he should play for Celtic. I'd take that back. Obviously, it was just two stupid moments, but no good. I mean, potentially cost us. I mean, it's a great result anyway, but potentially cost us a really famous result because, albeit it was scored after he got sent off. If that goal happens and we're 2-0 up, we've got 11 men on the park. I don't envisage that we lose, that we didn't win that game. But listen, no complaints for me. All things considered, where we've been, the performances of late, travelling to Italy in a game that was said on Monday, we could kind of do without. And everything's turned on its head because for me now, that game gives you loads of confidence. It gives the players loads of confidence. And Martin O'Neill, what more can you say to turn? Yeah. And I was sitting last night and I gave myself the fear, just sitting thinking about the game, as you do. I thought, it just sprung to my mind. Imagine that was Nancy. It was in the fucking dugout. Yeah, I could have been looking at about a 5 or 6. Nothing, I really do. And I think that shows you just in that example the quality that Martin O'Neill brings as a manager. What a man.
Yeah, I think, again, listen, it's one of the things I've got to say watching the game last night as well. I did not think of Wilfred Nancy or Wilfred Nancy's team at all. I think I don't know whether that's just been compartmentalised in my head and my brain is just doing me a favour not thinking about it. It wasn't until after it when a couple of people said if that was Nancy there as well. I think it was you that said as well that Nancy's setup would have played right into them. They would have fucking scudded us. We're playing there, but
the way they were set up, the way their front three would have, the two wingers would have absolutely fucking destroyed us.
Yeah. Maybe a pragmatic approach.
They were their two best players. They were their two best players, or two right men.
Yeah. Maybe a pragmatic approach as well. But again, you've got to do that. You've got to kind of make sure you're going there strong. But the thing about that performance the other night, Kevin, they'll come to you for this next one, is that Celtic shown in that first half an hour as well that we can go and we can play ball away from him in Europe as well and actually be competitive. But the decision for obviously to send Rio Hatate off, I don't think anybody's basically saying that it wasn't a yellow card. I'm with Paul as well. Yellow card all day long. Wasn't there a straight red? Absolutely not. But petulance in there. Now, we're entering a vital phase of our season now where we need everybody to be in there because you're going to go up to Hearts on Sunday and you better believe your fucking arse as well that Derek McInnes is going to get them in there, get in there and bite the fucker, stone their toes, pull the hairs at the back of the legs, do all that dark art stuff. What Rio Hatate shown midweek, is he somebody that we can trust to basically stand up in that type of environment where people are basically just going to be chewing you up now and trying to provoke you into a decision like that, would you have him in your team going forward, or is that basically him sitting the bench for a few weeks, mate?
I'd have him in my team. He's probably the best player at Celtic Park on his day, and I know he's been half his day the last wee while, but see last night, up until he 2 bookings, by the way, he was as good as any man in the park, and he was looking a wee bit like his old self again, and all, by the way. And to fucking hang, draw and fucking quarter him for a couple of moments of madness. And I would have him. I would have him in the team. I would have him in the team on Sunday. I think this is a type of game for him, and I don't say that lightly because Big Negrin always gives you. He's always good for a goal, so he is. But I would go with I would go with Hatate. Plus, he'd be fucking fresh legs, wouldn't he?
That's a good point.
That early laugh would have done him no good. Andy, but same to yourself, mate, because just reading out a few comments as well that it's been a while since Hatate's looked happy here. The last 12 months, he's not been happy. It's one that you get one good game out of 4 in him. And Kevin's right, on his day, arguably one of the best in Scottish football. But you don't get him on his day that often. But if you look at the temperament on it, now again, I'm probably narrowing in on something as well that's not really been too much of an issue. But when we're getting into if you look at the title races over the last 10 years in Scotland as well, we've not really had anybody really pushing us. We're going to be pushed this season, and we need everybody as well to be fully
certainly going to be pushed. We're having to do all the catching up. Never mind, getting pushed.
Yeah.
So, it's I know people will say, "Oh, Cats are going to fall away," and all that, but listen, they're 6 points ahead at the moment, and they don't look as if they're going to slip up. They are kind of scraping through some games and playing some good stuff in other games. They're in the pole position, and it's up to us to, get in about them. That this is, for me, at the moment, that this is the most important game of the season in Sunday. Because if we don't, I'd be think a draw is good enough. If we don't beat them, I think it's done. I really do. So I think we need to win that. I absolutely need to win it. When it comes to Hatate, I think he'll play. I think he'll play on Sunday. I think Martin will definitely have had words with him to let him know what he expects from him. And hopefully he'll learn from what happened last night, because you can't afford for that same instant to happen. In a game of this magnitude on Sunday. You need every player on the park playing their part, and I totally agree with Kev. He's a fantastic player. He's just paused too kind of hot and cold for me. He's not consistent enough, but when he is on his game, he's a very, very gifted technical player, very intelligent player. We just don't see enough of it. That's the problem.
Would you have him in your team?
For me,
I would. Yes, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, on you go, brother. On you go, mate.
I've said it here countless times. Just what Kev said, that on his game, undoubtedly the best player at the club, which makes him the best player in Scotland. We're not seeing enough of that at the moment. And then last night, we're seeing a side of the game that he's let everybody down. Let's be brutally honest. I've seen a few folk on other podcasts really strongly coming out that it shouldn't have been a sitting jail. I don't know what they're watching, because it's as much a booking as you'll ever get. It kicked out. Didn't even give him a fair one, which is even worse. It just kicked him, drew his studs down the back of his calf, and absolutely, I knew right away it was a sitting jelly. Would I have him in my team on Sunday? That's a big question. It depends what Rio turns up. If the Rio Hatate turns up that we know is there, then absolutely. But if the Rio Hatate turns up that we've seen over the last X amount of performances, although I do agree with Kev, I thought until his second booting, I thought he was playing very well. So I think you've kind of got to, although I think the only thing that works against him is Nygren's got a goal on him. I mean, Nygren's got 12 goals this season. So I wouldn't say, it's going to be a tough one when it comes to picking your teams at the end, because I'm not sure I'm still not sure who he'll plug for. But would I have him? Aye, because I'm not a massive Nigerian fan, goals aside. So I would.
I'd probably say myself as well. Looking from sprinkling positivity as we're doing, and I think he's called it right there. That listen, in the heat of the moment as well, you did daft things, and he's apologised for it. So everybody said he's apologised for it profusely. But that can be easily turned into fuel for Sunday. You know, if Martin being the man manager that he is as well, you can very easily turn that around about as well, make that your fuel. Now, if he turns up on Sunday and then does it again, or does they turn on a performance, then you can maybe do something about it. But I'm with you guys that sometimes the best time to throw somebody back into the heat of the action is when they're the cunt.
Good point.
And it's like, remember, you don't make mistakes, don't make mistakes, it's opportunities to learn. And listen, one of the ones, go and win this game on Sunday, let's get us back in 3 points out, or 3 points behind these guys as well. Because Rangers are at home to Dundee on Sunday as well, so I don't want to say it's a given they're going to get 3 points, but let's take it as that way. It's a given they're probably going to get 3 points. So if we don't win that game, and Andy, you're saying as well, it's like people are saying that it's a must not lose game rather than a must win game. I'm in your end of that argument as well. I think this is a must win game because
I don't. I just think it's a must not get beat game.
The thing for me, Paul, just on that one, sorry to jump in, but the thing for me in that one is that you could still win on Sunday and end the weekend in third place.
Aye.
And that's the thing as well, that it's, yes, we're getting closer to the top.
Oh, right, okay, aye.
You're relinquishing your second place, basically. If we don't win the game and we don't lose the game, we draw. Rangers going to second.
I think for all the reasons like confidence, momentum, and also striking a blow to them. And also, I'm a big fan of low averages. Hearts beating us 3 times in a season in the league. You know what I mean? That's a big low average. So I'm quite big on that. And I've been wrong many times before, might add, on my low averages theories. But we'll come to predictions later.
We'll do that.
I think Hoggy, sorry. I think what people need to remember is whether it's on this podcast or other podcasts, getting it that it's a must win or it's a must not get beat. People just need to chill the fuck out. You pump them on Sunday.
Like it.
I love.
And we'll get to predictions later, but they're getting horsed.
And you're right as well. You said on the chat earlier on as well, with Barry not being here tonight, you're going to be Mr. Positivity, and that's, I'm liking that as well. But it's I'll say no more on that one. But Kevin, I'll stick with you for this next one, mate. So the 2 goals that we scored there, great performance, obviously, before the sending off. After the sending off, it's more of a rear guard, the kind of backs to the wall type stuff. But the 2 goals, the first one, again, people are saying, it's a goalie mistake, but we created that goalie mistake. We created that. So. That's again down to that high press. That's again using Maida, and we'll, again, don't go too much into Maida there as well, but that was that's by design, that type of goal that we scored. That's no a fluke.
No. That's a Casper special. That's what teams were doing to us earlier in the season. They're getting through them across the middle there and doing the high press. And when you're wanting to play football for the back, that's the kind of thing that can happen. The thing that really stood out for me, and I know he scored a few weeks ago, the thing that stood out for me was how it was how Hatate celebrated it last night. I mean, see the last few games here, when Celtic's been scoring, he's just been head down and walking back up the park and no ball on his backside. He was fucking absolutely delighted last night. He had a wee spring in his step for some reason last night. What it was, I don't know. Has the manager and Sean Maloney and that just had a wee pep talk with him and a wee word with him, because he did have the spring in the step, and you could see what that goal meant to him last night, to be honest. And I've always thought for a wee while he's not looked interested. I know it was petulance, he's 2 bookings, but was he just trying to show that he cared a wee bit more?
Kev, see, when it comes to Hatate, I don't think since he's came to the club he's ever looked as if he's enthused with anything. I think it's just the way he is. I've never been convinced with him at all that he's.
It's just the way he is. But last night, Andy, I thought last night he did look a hell of a lot happier when he had stuck that one by, and I just seen, and I know we're going to get into other players, but and I know we're talking about the goal, Hoggy, but even with the goal, you just seen how forward, how high up he was. How high up he was pressing. When's the last time you seen him do anything like that? When did you see anybody coming for the midfield and giving any support like that? But as you say, as soon as you do that, and a team's want to play for the back, what we like to do, that's where then you do catch them out. And fair play to Maeda, by the way, because he could have tried to just slip it past the keeper himself, but he didn't. Unselfishly, he just cut it across to make sure that Hatate's passing it into an empty net, and that just sort of a great goal. As I say, what people have done to us before, we've done it last night to them, and I think it gave that wee man a lift. Do
you know what I don't get, Kev? See that situation we scored that first goal. I totally get teams that want to play out for the back when it's on. When it's on for you to play that, I just don't understand. And we've been in that position ourselves. We're not getting really harried with the high press for the forwards. Just fucking put it out there. He's put it up by them. If they're committing so many players forward, there's got to be space somewhere else. So play it. They're out of danger. The insistence in trying to play passes that on the own and keep yourself under pressure. I seen that coming out. I wasn't sure if it was short. Imagine them talking about referee decisions. Jesus Christ.
Well, Denman, I'll say that on there as well. You've not been an absolute FUD. As well. So I'm carefully going to let that slide now as well. But you're on a shaky nail.
There's a lot of pass what he's talking about. It's not the man's deluded. But
that's the kind of chat you get as well. But welcome aboard, mate. Thank you very much for tuning in and enjoying a good Celtic podcast, brother, as well. So
press like,
subscribe, remember. But Andy, the second goal was obviously from a set piece, and I don't know if you kind of got the same impression last night, but I thought set pieces were I've been really over the years, like the last fucking 10, 15 years of watching Celtic, set pieces, we've been a waste of a fucking corner, a waste of these kind of things, because our output, our goal return for these set pieces as well was very, very poor. I thought Kieran Tierney with his deliveries last night as well was fucking really causing a wee bit of
right in the danger area. Yep, because
it was great last night. It was brilliant last night.
Aye, and then you wonder, was that a foul on Maeda when the ball ended up going through to Trusty, but he got enough on it to put it into the back of net. But what a great area to put it, especially if the keeper's not going to gather that up. Then go for it. I agree with you, Hoggy. I think corners are wasted on us, and I think corners against us are fucking, your arse is making buttons at times because they're so bad at defending set pieces, corners, stuff like that. But it's good to see score for a situation like that. And another thing that, just touching on this new guy coming in on Sunday, he's 6'3". He's a presence in the box, a presence we've not really had since probably the height of Adamida, and I wouldn't say he was the best in there, but I've seen a few clips of this guy where he does, and he seems to get into good positions. I think the club he was with before, he had a wee bit of injury problems, and he was played out of position as well, so it wasn't exactly prolific, but Sparta before that, he was banging in the goals. I'm quite optimistic about this guy, especially when it comes to, if you're getting deliveries for corners like that, and Engels is very good at deliveries as well most of the time. But great to see Tierney delivering the ball like that, and it's, if you've got a big guy in there that's willing to attack the ball, then it's all good. So it's good to see us actually doing something for a set piece.
Second half of the pod as well, we'll get in and we'll speak about the new boy a bit as well. But it was great to see that in big Trusty. And now we're going to get into actually the spotlight as well, because we've got 3 players for spotlight for you tonight, gentlemen. And while we're talking about big Trusty with that second goal, Paul, I'll come to you first for this one, buddy. I thought personally, and again, I'm in the centre halves union as well, because I think that I've always thought that there's a player there in Trusty. Sometimes he's been a wee bit kind of bomb scarish as well, but I thought midweek, certainly last night as well, I thought that man was fucking tremendous. Absolutely tremendous last night as well. But Trusty, what did you think his performance, mate?
I thought it was tremendous. Hoggy, everything you've just said. It's a weird one, because sometimes you watch Trusty in Scotland, and he's getting, I'm not going to say the word bullied, but he's getting, looks as though he's not really up for the fight. Because I'm like you, Hoggy. I think he is an excellent football player. I really like him. And last night, the very opposite, like Atalanta, he just looked fucking like a man possessed. He was throwing folk at the road. He was winning headers. Obviously, he scored his goal, which I didn't think you could. I didn't think you could underestimate just his ability to sort of get on the end of that and no panic. I mean, it looks like a tapping, but it's really no. You know what I mean? He's done really well to get on the end of that. And his whole game.
He nearly missed it.
Not at all, man. He didn't break. No, it was always going in. But listen, it's almost like he suffered so much under Nancy with the amount of running he had today and the exposure he was put under continuously. It's almost like he's breathing a sigh of relief that he's now got a partner back beside him. He's got two fullbacks either side of him. He's got a nice, simple, steady back four, and he looks as though I'm playing like a man possessed. And I suppose probably when you've been under so much pressure that he was under Wilfred Nancy and playing what must have been horrible football for him, being exposed so many times, been left 1-on-2 at times, 1-on-3 sometimes. Then, his performance last night, again, I'm going to mention Atalanta a lot because the parallels are absolutely there to be drawn. And who's this cunt now?
I would ban him. He's a fucking idiot, man.
Fucking stupid names for your fucking bampots. Doesn't it make sense?
He's away.
So I could wax lyrical about the whole back four all night. Him and Scales in particular, who again was just superb, I thought. But Austin Trusty for me was my man of the match. I think Maeda's in with a shout for that as well, to be fair. But I think I would get to Trusty just for the amount of important blocks and the way he just held the line. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. A 9.5 out of 10 for me. A 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, really I would have to agree with you, Paul. Kevin, it's obviously defensively under the previous manager. Where I think Scales came out and said as well that he was demanding so much of them as well, with playing higher up the pitch and stuff, that they were losing their legs in the kind of latter bits of the game as well, and they just couldn't do what they did. And regardless of anybody, you could be the smartest, best football player in the world as well, but see if your legs are getting absolutely ran up from under you, you're not going to be able to do the stuff that you would do if you're being a wee bit more conservative with that. But he's found a partner again in Scales, and again it's good to see Martin O'Neill going with a kind of solid defensive kind of routine, I suppose, and having the kind of same back four in there. But
nice and simple. Keep it simple.
As Trusty for you somebody that you would trust, Kevin, with regards to that? Again, this is a big run-in we've got now as well, because again, if we're going to be continuing on in Europe, you're playing in three. Obviously we've got the Scottish Cup, we've got the Europa League, and we've got the league. Are you confident that Trusty's one of the players as well that on his day or on his game is going to take you and deliver the type of performances that we need in the league as well to get Nicholson for it?
Yes, 100%. I always have liked a big man. I know he said these shortfalls as well, what every player does. But no, I like the big man. I always have liked him. And I was screaming for a long time for him to get back in. Beside Vickers earlier in the season when it was Scales that was getting the run. Scales did a mess last night, but he just fucking, I just fucking panic when the ball is near him. It just gives me the fear of big man, which is a bit hard, but that's just the way I am. I get a fear watching the ball and fucking anywhere near him. But I do like
you know what they like to do, the two of them? They like to defend. They're defenders. That's what they do, and it's no coincidence that the two of their best performances have come and really backs to the wall performances. In fact, you go back to games at Ibrox today, if you're watching the Hunt Fuck, the time we beat these, and they were brilliant. They were superb.
That's spot on, Paul. Aye, yep.
So it seems to be the more under pressure they are, which I suppose is a bit of a worry when we play in Scotland, because there's a lot of games when we're not under that level of pressure. Then you've got the extreme. You've got the extreme the pressure that we're under Wilfred Nancy. So listen, I'm just happy that we seem to be back, not conceding a lot of goals, and looking like we can win games as well. So it's a lovely place to be. It's a lovely place to be again.
It is, Andy, and I'm going to kind of try and eke that wee one about there, because I think our Baz one there is saying, you know, both are great defenders. If you can see the simplistic thing as well of putting people in your team as well to defend, then the two of them as well proved. I don't think it's just on Thursday they proved that. I think they proved it before that they can defend. The problem is when you come back into Scotland as well, they're not going to be defending anywhere near the length of time that they did there as well with concentration and stuff. So when you're asking these guys as well, not to then become defenders, but them become playmakers almost, because they're the ones that starting the ball for the back. In the way that we've seen players, teams set up against us, they're happy for them to actually have the ball. Certainly Scales has been caught a few times, but they'll back off him as well. They'll just protect the spaces, protect the men as well, and let him then go and try and ping balls all the place. So does that have any worry for you then as well, that defensively that they're sound, but offensively they're maybe not actually the answer is as well, but they're maybe not as good for our team in that instance?
Aye, listen, I've criticised both Scales and Trusty to say that they're no good enough, but I've got to be honest, you know, Paul made great points there, touching on the Atalanta game and the game last night, the games that they shown, you know, that their backs were to the wall, they put their bodies on the line, real defenders' jobs. And then you do look at the domestic side where they are if teams are pressing us, they're willing to just sit back on our midfield. So it prevents our defenders from pinging balls to them if there's a player on them. So they're required to go forward to then kind of get some movement. The problem is that they're not the best at passing the ball, like pinging it diagonal passes and, you know, finding a man. They're not as good as what a midfield player would be at finding a forward player. So they're having to play more advanced, which, listen, I've got no problem with defenders playing the ball if they're capable of doing it. If you're not capable of doing it, get you somebody else. But obviously, the problem I was talking about was if the midfield players, the creative players, are getting marked out the game, then you're required. You're relying on your defenders to then take it forward up the park to try and get a bit of movement and move a bit of space. That's when you're getting caught out, especially with a bit of pace and stuff like that as well. That if it doesn't quite hit the man they're intending to hit, then you're getting hit in the break. We've seen it plenty of times this season against Celtic, because you could look at many games that Celtic play and just about the whole team is in the opposition half for a good part of the game. Yeah, look how condensed that is and how try to make space, and it then becomes very difficult, and it becomes frustrating as a fan because you're like, just fucking do something. It's very difficult that, you know, when where do you want me to go? There's literally two teams in the one half. What do you want me to do here? That's when it becomes really difficult, and then you're getting caught in the break, and then they look like a fud, and it's really quite difficult.
But think back to when Brendan left and when Martin came back in. I think that was one of the things that a lot of people bounced on or kind of jumped on straight away, was the fact that Celtic were a lot quicker to get the ball up to the other end of the park. It wasn't the horseshoes people say as well. It was a lot quicker. It was bypassing players as well to actually get it up into the offensive end. Now, Paul, would you say you're still seeing that level of progression or speed of progression into the opposing end, or do you think that we've actually kind of sat back a wee bit again now and getting back into that kind of possession-based stuff rather than maybe hitting longer diagonals?
I think we're doing what we're pretty good at. And Scales, I don't know if he's Scale, I can't remember where I read this. It was an interview he gave, and he was talking about his place in the team under Nancy, and basically, without ripping the man to pieces, saying he was getting asked to do stuff he wasn't comfortable doing. Like the amount of times he was on the ball. I mean, he came on at Tynecastle, he was basically playing as a left winger. And the ball was going to him all the time. And I felt fucking heart sorry for him because he's not got the touch, he's not got the ability. He acknowledged that. Without saying it, he was saying that he was thankful that he was now getting back to doing what he's good at and know what he was asked to do that he wasn't comfortable doing. But it was basically being a creative defender. So I'm pretty comfortable with the way Martin O'Neill sets his team. Are you comparing it to who are we comparing that to?
Well, it was the previous manager to Martin, Brendan, was very kind of slow and deliberate in his build-up as well. And that's when Andy was just saying there as well that you're playing against such a low block. And again, I hate to fucking say that low block, but can kind of deep sitting teams as well that's almost just inviting you to say, pick us apart. And it's that kind of slow back to front or kind of side to side flip as well. That it's no the. And I know Brendan certainly had his way of playing. That was it. But it's no the most exciting. And it was just basically just on the first game that Martin came in. You've seen such a difference in the speed of getting the ball into the opposing defensive end as well, or our attacking end as well. That it was dead refreshing to see. But have we kind of regressed back to that?
No, I don't think so. I think Martin Neil again keeps it simple. Wingers get your ball into the. I mean, you watched the Henry Larsson interview. I don't know if you have watched it. The overlap one, fucking absolutely brilliant. Yeah. What a man! And by how funny he is. How funny was he? I didn't realise he was so much a character.
He's a very dry sense of humour, isn't he?
Brilliant. Just as if you couldn't love the man any more, then you end up doing that.
They were on him, weren't they? Keane and
they absolutely were, Andy. But so Henrik Larsson just said that Martin O'Neill would just get crosses into the box. Wingers, do your job. Beat your fullback and get a cross into the box. So again, it's very simple, straightforward football, Hoggy. Defenders that can defend, defenders that give the ball to players that are better with them at football, and they get the ball either the wingers or look to slip in your centre forwards. Simple as that. That's the football. And now, what Andy's saying about the low block, absolutely. I think if although teams were starting to no do that against us on a regular occurrence because they knew they could get at us. Yeah. So if teams do revert back to that, this is where I think the big fella could come in, because we've not had that out ball, somebody that can take the ball in into feet or take it or flick on when he does. Again, Larsson was talking about playing with Sutton and Hartson. And against simple, he says, well, I know that a defender's, I think he's quoted brilliant. He said, a defender's not going to bring the body on their head. So if the ball's at Hatate, I know I'm going in behind because they're going to flick it on. And that's what I think this big fella will hopefully bring to us, that level of ability to change the way we attack teams and be more direct rather than the horseshoe death that we spoke about that was just so turgid and so horrible to watch. Can I just pick up on a few comments? I've got my comments on my phone. David told me just confirming that because we were asked about Bull. Bull's all right. He's talking to his laddie Liam, who was in Bologna last night. And that's fine, but nice to pass your regards on to him, David, if you didn't mind. Yeah,
absolutely.
Tell me back in the comments. We miss his comments.
I know we miss Big Bill. So that was Trusty basically on kind of Spotlight, and I think we're all to a man certainly on the panel, and our community is very much talking the big man up, and we hope that we do see that continued kind of dominance in defence, and hopefully when we're in Scottish football as well, a wee bit. I'm not saying a more kind of measured approach with his build-up play, but certainly just kind of keeping that level of performance as well, whatever that means as well.
He's a very Martin O'Neill-esque type of player, you know, the big physical type. He's got a kind of Sutton look about him, isn't he? You know, the physicality.
You know what he's doing? He's fucking rapid. He's fast as fuck.
He's very quick. And listen, we've got to give the guy a chance. A lot of people writing him off, you know, before he's even played a game. You need to give the guy
a break. He's a Martin O'Neill signing, and I suppose not just in style, but in the history of him as well. Because Martin O'Neill has, how many players did he bring? Sutton, Hartson, Alan Thompson, players that were struggling at their clubs, but had been good previously. This guy had a brilliant record in the Czech Republic. He's went to Germany. It's no worked. And listen, if it had worked in Germany, we wouldn't have him, because you're not getting a player that's banging him in Germany. We're not going to get him. So these are the players we need to be looking at. Players that,
you know, the good thing, Paul. The good thing is that we've got the option to buy in there as well. That wasn't there either, you know, and you're getting absolutely ripped. Absolutely, the fees are already agreed, and if it does turn out, could turn out to be a bargain for us if he does actually, you know, bang the goals in.
I've got this. I mean, I just have this feeling that he's going to do really, really well. He's coming at a good age. He's 25.
Yep.
He's obviously could score goals if you look at his record in the Czech League, which I would suggest is, if not on a par with Scotland, probably better. There or thereabouts anyway. And he's went to Germany. It's just no work for him. Lot to prove. I know these montage things are not always reflective either way, but he had certainly scored some good goals. Looks good in the air. I was very impressed and surprised how quick he is, and I'm talking really fucking quick. So a lot to like, and as I say, coming with a point to prove. So I've got a funny feeling this lad is going to do all right. I'm not looking for too much from him on Sunday if he features, but moving forward, although we could get a Scott Sinclair moment again.
Yeah.
Aye.
You know what I mean? But aye, so fingers crossed for the big fella.
I'm going to move on to our second spotlight of the night as well, and I think his name's been mentioned by a couple of you so far in having a fantastic performance last night. And I'm not quite sure that I've seen a complete performance for this player since he's come back into Celtic, because there's been moments as well that he's looked great. There's been moments that he's not looked great. Now that again could be down to the previous managers. Whatever it is. There was another kind of thing that I'd heard that supposedly all the medical staff on one end are saying you're fit, you're this, but it's something in the lad. He's himself. It's saying that I can't do any more than 60, 70 minutes. But my hero, or Kieran Tierney. I think last night, Andy, Kevin, I'm going to come to you for this one first, buddy, because I've not heard your voice for a wee bit. But Kieran was for me, again, pushing Austin Trusty as well for man of the match, defensively, putting his body on the line. Now, again, he's doing a wee bit too much for my liking as well. If I'm a defender and somebody's coming in and hitting me, the first thing I'm doing as well is getting back up on my fucking feet. I'm not going to sit and driving down and holding whatever it is. But Kieran, I thought last night as well, was fucking superb from his defensive duty, from his supporting the midfield, from his balls, from dead balls in for the corners. I thought it was tremendous. And again, bringing somebody in of that ilk, that world-class stature of a player as well, was fantastic to see last night. What was your thoughts on Kieran?
I thought he had his best game for he come back to Celtic. Because I had my doubts before he come back, as you know. And when he's been here, if he come back, there's been glimpses at times.
Yeah.
No Kieran Tierney, but it's not been quite consistent. But nothing about our fucking team or club has been consistent this season. But last night it was fucking back to the old KT that we all fucking knew and loved. And again, back to the KT we all know and loved, and hopefully just like the rest of the players that he's just got that wee bit more belief again in himself. No, I mean, you don't. There's one thing that you don't need to worry about with Kieran Tierney. It's a attitude and will to win and the will to succeed. No, I mean, he gives you his all every time, but he's sort of showed glimpses for come back to the old KT, but blew very hot and cold, just like fucking the rest of the team and the club. But last night he was back to his brilliant best, and if you can get Kieran back to that, then it's fucking winner chicken dinner. Know what I mean?
Absolutely, Kevin. And Andy, I'll come to you for the next point, is because Kieran, when he came back in, obviously there was a debate, or the kind of understanding that Brendan came out and said as well, we're trying to play him back into like a 90-minute performance because he was getting hooked after 60 minutes quite a bit there. Mm-hmm. But there was under the previous manager, he just didn't seem himself at all. Now, Kevin's mentioned something there as well. If there's one player in this team as well that you would rely on to give his absolute all for Celtic, regardless who it is or what it is or when it was, is Kieran Tierney. He's died in the wool. He's been born into Celtic as well. He's proved that himself through his performances. What do you think then the difference is now? We're getting Martin, getting the best of him in the previous. Do you think that was again just down to the fact that previous manager was just fucking murder and didn't know how to get a performance out of a player?
He didn't know how to get a performance out of MD, I don't think. The thing with KT as well is, as far as I'm concerned, in his first time here, he was going to be the next Celtic captain. I think he was tailor-made for it. Just a born leader. We got him back. A more experienced player. He's played in some huge games, learned a lot down there. And I think the injury thing is just a mental thing on in his head. It's he's almost expecting something to happen, and it's playing on his mind. He's maybe not wanting to stretch in to reach a ball or make a certain tackle, and being overcommitted to in case he gets injured, which is a mental thing. Listen, any player can get injured, especially if you're a physical type of player, which he is. I think he had a fantastic game last night. It was like vintage KT again. Good to see. And again, I think it's a Martin O'Neill effect. You've got to remember this has been a really turbulent season so far as well. there's been so much happening off the pitch, on the pitch, change of managers, change of styles. It's very difficult to get your head around, but I think, you know, he's very comfortable in the Martin O'Neill system, and I think that shows. So certainly for here to the end of the season, we know Martin's going to be here. We know the type of football he's going to play. I think he's going to really come onto a game now. We're going to see the best of KT. Fingers crossed that he doesn't get an injury. I don't see it being a major problem. As I said, I think it's merely a mental thing with KT. He's almost expecting it to happen. If he can get his head around it and just concentrate and, you know, playing the game, we'll definitely get the best version of KT that we can get.
Well, it definitely taken a few knocks last night, Paul, as well. And I think that, as I said, it's one thing that I've seen a lot of people kind of throw shade at Kieran for is his reaction to some of the tackles as well, because he's doing and he's on the flare and he's rolling and stuff. And again, it is what it is as well. But for you last night and I suppose it's the same as Trusty as well, that this is the type of performances that we need off our leaders in that team. Now, if you look at who you would say the leaders in that dressing room is, you've got Carl in there, you've got Kieran in there, you've got AJ in there, obviously he's not on the pitch now as well, but you've got these big personalities in there as well. They need to lead for the front. And Kieran's one of the ones as well that I guarantee you most of that dressing room as well will be looking to Kieran more than they would be looking to, and it's no any kind of slight on the likes of Orson Trusty or any of the more foreign players. But this is a boy as well that's come through the youths, that's died with Celtic. He's proven it time and time again. That's the type of performance as well that you need to basically galvanise the rest of that changing room as well. So again, there was stuff on the park, but I think that a lot of the benefits you're going to get after these performances you're seeing is after the park stuff. It's mentality stuff. It's headset stuff. It's like I'm following that cunt. I'm writing about after him.
I said that at the start of the season. I've said it was the bottom hoggy. I said if I was in that dressing room and KT was coming back for Arsenal, I know that I think Arsenal are anything special, but the whole EPL thing, and he's done well down there, I'd be looking and saying, fucking, let's go. I mean, we've got this lad beside us now. And he's took a while to get up to speed. I do agree, I think the last few weeks he's been slowly building towards the player that we expected to be getting when he had been written off by way too many people. I always found that was a bit fucking OTT. Folks saying he was finished and he was never going to be the player he was, etc., etc. Well, I think he's shown that wasn't the case. That's like he showed it now, it wasn't as important to him as being Arsenal. I always said he should remain there. Nah, I disagree, mate. I kind of know the ins and outs of that through a couple of people that I know pretty well. I think Celtic all but drive them down to Arsenal, to be honest with you. I'm not saying he doesn't want to go, but I think that's very harsh. If I'm being honest with you, I think you know who I know, you'll know them as well. You'll know more than me, I would imagine, but I think I'm pretty comfortable in my knowledge that I think it was a good deal for everybody, and KT was happy enough to go, but I don't think there was an option. I think if he'd said no, he'd have been fucking kicked down the road to London for the money. That's what I'm saying there. But no, and Sugarman, bang on, great time. I'm just going to say that he was up against that. I mean, that's the first time I've seen that laddie, but he was a very good opponent. He was in a brilliant game, and initially he was getting the better of him, and I thought it was a great battle. And I thought Kieran over the piece came out the battle on top. But have I missed him? When did he start taking corners?
That's the point I'm making. He's not really been a set piece taker. I can't think of a time where I've seen Kieran taking corners.
I watched him last night and I'm saying, I've been fucking missing some in here. Have I missed this change and thing going on? Because absolutely, get big angles. There you go. There's your second goal. You know what I mean? A boy 6 foot 1 or 2. That's sorry, mate. I'm not having that. Like, thank you, Doc Boy. Good timing. I know, you know what I say about opinions. I didn't go with that, but I'll leave it at that. No, I'm watching it and I'm saying, when did they start taking fucking corners? And I've been missing this in the games I've been going to. I know, but there's the second goal, puts it in, and Engels gets a wee flick on, and there's a big man at the back post. Yeah. So I hate to use the cliche off the training ground, but it looked like it might have been. You know what I mean? Engels is a big laddie who's 50-50 at Mace with his corners. He puts some really good ones in, and other ones he carries it past first man on a regular occurrence. So I like that mix. I like the mix up of the set pieces. And KT looked every ounce the world class fullback that we were hoping we were going to get, and
Yeah.
let's hope that becomes an
Yeah.
every week thing. Because if it does, fuck me, what a player we've got.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you said there as well about the setup of the corner. It was almost like kind of role reverse, because you would expect Trusty to be the one that's been predominantly attacking the first ball and putting it into the back post as well for your maybe your more offensive minded players. But listen, anyway, it worked. It worked. Now I've got one more spotlight that I want to turn on as well, but I'm going to jump on. I'm going to give Andy the controls for the next wee bit as well, because we're bringing back some segments to the CSP. Obviously, in the past, we've had our wee bits of sprinkles as well, a wee bit of fun as well, just to take us away from certainly not the monotony of it as well, but certainly the intense chat that we've had as well. So Andy's got a brand new segment for us as well. So Andy, I'm going to hand over to yourself, brother. You will take it away, my man.
Yes, this is what we have here. The year that was. So what I was going to do was a season. So for talking sake, 1989, 1990 would be a season. I'm going to put it out the actual year from January to December. So technically it covers the arse end of one season and the start of another season, but it's in that year. Okay. So what I want you to tell me is what the year is, and I'll explain that by giving you some clues as well to what that year is. So I'll start with you, Hoggy. What I'm going to do is you'll start off with 10 points. Okay, we'll start off with 10 points. The first clue's free, it won't cost you anything. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to eliminate you after a guess, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, because I think it's a bit brutal. So what I'll do is every time you want another clue, it's going to cost you another 2 points. All right, and then you can guess to see what you want. So what I'm going to ask you, Hoggy, is I've got 4 years here: A, B, C, and D. So what envelope do you want?
Andy, I want your D.
You want my D? Right, no bother. It's not the biggest, right enough, but it'll do. Okay, Hoggy.
Yep.
This is your year. Let me. Can't remember what I put in what envelope, so it's still a surprise to me. Okay, I'll give you your first clue for free. Okay.
Yep.
Council tax was introduced on this year, replacing poll tax.
Oh, I should know this.
Nobody looking at the comments, no cheating.
Oh no, I'll put the comments off.
Nobody else shout out.
Andy, again, I'm not going to take a guess at that as well. I'm not going to go all in for it. I don't know, so carry on.
You want another clue?
Yes, please.
Okay. Liam Brady left Celtic in October of this year.
Oh, fuck.
Like this, Andy, already.
Oh.
Tricky one, like, but
It is.
yeah. I'll let you jump about at that time, Hoggy.
I know that's exactly what I'm thinking as well. There was so many people that was there. Early 90s for sure, but just what year it was. Andy, I'm going to take another clue, please, brother. I'm going to take another clue.
We signed this year to Celtic Football Club Tom Boyd, Andy Payton, and Stuart Kerr.
Yeah. Oh, it's still tricky, but I think I know it.
I think fuck. I'm just because Paul's a man of knowledge in history. Yeah, I would be safe for that. But I'm going to take a guess at this one because I'm between 2 years the new. I'm between 92 and 93.
You're sitting in 4 points now.
What?
Oh no, sorry, six.
Aye, sorry, yep.
Sorry, mate, sorry.
93.
100% correct. Well done. Well done. That should get 6 points, Hoggy.
Come on.
Well done. So you need to beat 6 points, guys. Kev, you have envelope 2 seconds. Envelope
Stick
A.
your full touch up your arse, by the way, not by the pen.
Aye, 100%, yeah. We've got envelope A, envelope B, or envelope C.
C.
You want C for Celtic.
I was going to pick this one, Kev, so let's see. This is going to be
C for Celtic. Let's see what you've got.
Me and you shouldn't be too far away, Kev. We've got similar paths, matey.
We have that, mate, aye.
Okay, Kev, your first clue free of charge is on this year, the Glasgow airport terror attack took place.
Pardon me.
That's that John Smeaton cunt trying to take all the credit. Mate.
That's right, aye.
Fucking hun bastard.
Yeah.
I'll take another clue.
Want another clue? Okay. This year, Madeleine McCann disappeared.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hell.
Fuck's sake.
See if I don't guess on this one and guess in the next one, how many points did I get?
If you don't guess on,
if I guess on the next one, no, this one.
8.
Fuck it, I'm all in.
There's nothing funny about
Andy,
it.
2000.
Oh no, hold on a minute. Aye, 8, aye.
I'm all in, 2007.
Well done, 2007 is correct. 8 points, Kev.
Well done, Kev.
What else happened that year? Foot and mouth disease happened. They
used that clue first.
Aye, I know. But I'm sick that way. The Christmas #1 movie was Enchanted. Celtic signed Paul Hartley, Scott Brown, Adam Virgo, and Georgios Samaras.
No bad
and Celtic won the Scottish Cup final, beating St Johnstone 2-1. Well done, Kev. You
Andy,
are in the league.
There's supposedly a bit of a steward's inquiry with my guess of 93 that is potentially 92.
No, it's not.
Is it right? Cool. No worries.
Believe me, I've done my research. Who told you that?
Just the comments
Well,
are saying, a couple of them saying as well that it's 92.
Just stay out of this, commenters. Messing my game up.
You know what we're like here anyway, guys. You know what we're like here.
Right, Paul.
This isn't the fucking Nicholas Weir we're dealing with, by the way. These answers are correct.
I'll go for B, Andy.
B. Okay.
B for Michael Nicholson's a bastard.
He's also a shite bag.
Ah, he's
Hey,
Aye.
We'll come to
Okay,
that,
Paul. Are you ready?
Yes.
Right, this is your free clue. Andy Murray won Wimbledon this year.
He's won it twice, though, hasn't he?
Aye.
Doesn't mean he didn't win it.
No.
I love this.
Okay.
No, I just come back for some. Where did I just come back for when he won that cunt?
Toilet.
I haven't been doing it in London. Eh? The what?
Toilet.
No. There's not a free clue now. I'll go over another one.
Okay. Where are we? Wigan won the FA Cup.
Oh, now. Oh, right, okay. Oh. What would that be me on 8?
Yes.
I need to guess at this, don't I, to draw with Kev?
You do, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to go... That's quite a while ago, wasn't it? That'll be 13 years. I've got 2 years in my mind. I'm going to go. Is it 2012 or 2013? I'm going to go 2013.
I think you're right.
Done. Well
Aye.
done, Paul. 100%.
Oh, it was,
Yes, 100%, mate.
because I was away
Well
somewhere.
done.
I remember I was away and I came back and everybody was getting excited about Andy Murray winning Wimbledon, and I couldn't give a fuck it at all.
Shocker, innit?
Okay, so I've got one envelope left, so I'll be as well using it as a wee tiebreaker type thing, if you want to do that.
Aye.
Between you and Kev. So what we'll do is get this opened. Have you got a pen and a bit of paper there?
I have.
Aye. Okay, so what to do is I'll just read you out some. What I'll do is I'll read out some clues, and then I'll ask you to write down whatever year you think it is, and you can turn around and show us the year you've got written down. Whoever gets it correct or closest to it is the winner. Okay. You's ready?
Yep.
On this year, the euro was brought in as currency. Obviously not in this country, but in Europe. Okay. Next clue is number one movie at Xmas, Christmas, was Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, and Halle Berry won an Oscar. Obviously not for that film, but for a different film.
No.
Okay, I'm going to give you all the clues here, right? The Christmas number one single was Sound of the Underground by Girls Aloud.
Terrible song.
For fuck's sake.
Terrible. I'm going to guess.
Right, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read out all the clues,
okay.
right, and then you can just write it down. Celtic signed that year David Fernandez, Ulrich Larsson, and Magnus Hedman.
Right, okay.
And the final clue is Celtic lost 3-2 in the Scottish Cup final against the Tribute Act.
Fuck.
Right. Oh, that's changed things a bit. Right, fuck it. I've got my guess down. Not really a guess, you need to be a guess. Fuck,
Right, you
changed.
ready?
Done.
Yep.
Right, turn your pads around to the screen and just shout out what you've got.
2002.
I bet 2003.
It is 2002. Well done, Kev.
Oh,
Did you get it? Did you get it as well, Augie?
No, I wasn't paying attention, mate. I wasn't paying attention.
No worries.
I'm too busy looking at the comments are quite good. The comments are quite good, I've got to say. Comments are
well, Kev, so congratulations on winning.
The year that was, Andy, thank you very much for putting that together, brother. And it's something that anybody that's watched us for any length of time knows that we like to have a bit of fun in games as well, where wee segments, and some of them are more trivia based, some of them are more just a bit of rip the arse out kind of thing as well. But we will have much more segments coming towards you over the next coming weeks. It's going to be new stuff. It's going to be new stuff. Right, so let me get back to my agenda here. Before we go any further, you would have seen it on the post that we'd put out there as well, that as part of the open membership as well, and again, anybody that's not signed up for memberships yet as well, it's totally, again, up to yourself as well, but we've opened up the memberships, $1.99, $3.99 memberships as well. So if you can, that would support us to put more content out there and to help some causes, local community, national community, that we're going to be doing there. As part of that, we have got to introduce a wee bit more giveaways. And the first giveaway we're going to do is based on the game on Sunday. So our clothing sponsor, Adelantes.com, our Des has been kind enough again to put up for grabs a T-shirt of your choice from the website. That T-shirt is going to be based, or the winner of that is going to be basically taken from everybody's guess on the time of the first Celtic goal on Sunday, right? Now, this is a members-only giveaway. It's one of the things that we did have a chat about it, whether we keep it open to everybody or whether we keep it for members. But those that are contributing to us, we need to give them something back. So this will be a members only competition. It will be announced on Monday night when we return after the weekend, after we dismiss Hearts. But based on the goal time of Celtic's first goal on Sunday, we will be giving away a T-shirt. So all you members out there, if you can put it into the chat on this as well, I'll go over the stuff at the weekend anyway to make sure that we've got everybody's guess. We'll give you basically, I'll give you until obviously kick off on Sunday to get your your time of Celtic's first goal. It's not who scored it, it's basically just simply a minute that Celtic's first goal is going to go in. And if you don't get it in there straight away, it will be the closest to that minute that wins. If there is more than one entry that's closest to that, then we'll do a wee random number generator on Monday to give that T-shirt away. So all the members out there as well, guys, please, I'm going to take some names as they're coming up just now, and I'll again review that over the weekend. But if you can get in the minute that Celtic scored their first goal on Sunday, I will do the rest from there as well. So thank you guys for that. Keep them coming in. As I say, I'll take all the notes of that as well. But Andy, I want to come to you for this one as well. So our new boy has come in there. You mentioned a wee bit about being like a Martin O'Neill signing. Thomas Cvancara. Again, I'm totally bastardising that name there. But what's your thoughts then on what you know about this guy as well, what you've seen about this guy? Are you happy with that signing? Because the one thing I want to say just before I get in there, remember when we signed Chris Sutton, one of the things that Martin O'Neill said as well, when he went for Blackburn to Chelsea for all that money, it was like £10 million. He says, you never lose your value. You never lose your value. Somebody made the decision based on your current performances to spend that money on you. You never lose that. You can only recoup that and go further. So what do you think then as well on Celtic's new signing, Thomas Cvancara?
I'm right with you. I don't really know a lot about him. I'll put a wee post up, just clips. Obviously, you're only going to see the good side of somebody in YouTube clips, but I liked what I seen. I thought he looked, powerful, quick, had an eye for goal. And also what I noticed was he's no shy of coming back and getting the ball. If he's no, getting service, he's quite comfortable in coming back, getting involved in the play. And I was just thinking the situation with Maeda with his speed, if he can come and collect the ball, maybe just that wee bit deeper.
Yeah.
Put it out to Maeda and then back into goal again to get in there for the cross. I've seen a few race situations with his clips. He looks pretty handy. As I said earlier, I think he was played out of position for a long time. Obviously, wasn't comfortable, had a bit of an injury as well. Somebody else mentioned about Turkey as well. He wasn't getting paid or something. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But I think all we can do is wait and see what he can do. And fingers crossed, because we're absolutely desperate for somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. And hopefully he's a man to do it. I like his size. I like he looks as if he can put himself about. And he spoke today as well. He had a wee kind of media conference. And speaks very good English as well. So there's no kind of problem understanding things or anything like that. He's very good with his English. So I'm actually looking forward to Sunday. I'm looking forward. I think it's a buzz of getting a new player in as well. With the fact that it's a striker as well, it's an exciting part of the park, innit? It's a goal scorer. Definitely looking forward to seeing him. And fingers crossed, he can come in and do the business, because we desperately need somebody to stick the ball in the back of the net. And hopefully he gets the service that is required for him to get the goals. So I still can't say his name. I call him Tarantula, because listen, I struggled so long with Sinasal's name, never mind his. So I'm going to stick with Spider-Man, Tarantula for me. But fingers crossed, hopefully he comes in and does the business. I like the look of him.
Kevin, for you, is it a gamble? Because as Andy's saying there as well, if you look at his passing, again, if you look at anybody on paper, it's never going to give you the full picture of the reasons behind why they maybe weren't as prolific at one point as well. But a lot of people are not saying writing them off as well, but there's been stuff that we've seen and we've been posted, or certainly been posted to us, about Mönchengladbach fans saying that he's fucking useless. But is this somebody that we think we should just forget all about the past stuff as well and just say, let's just wait to actually see what this guy does for us and then judge him based on that?
A lot of players have had a lot of past, you know what I mean? and you can't change your past. You can only change what's happening in the now and what's happening in the present. Now, when they started talking about this guy, I never read too much into it because you know what Celtic's like in the transfer market. So what's the point in fucking wasting your time looking at shit? Know what I mean? But once it became apparent that he was going to be signing, then I had a wee look, and that was when I posted the links up after the Wikipedia his career. And there's 2 cracking seasons here. There's a few duff seasons and all. If you're going to try and dissect it a wee bit, the duff seasons, why did that happen? Because when you said 2 cracking seasons, then it shows you that he was doing something right at some point. So for me, it's look at the present and now and take the positives. And with the greatest respect in the world to, I know they've struggled this year against teams, but this week's not the greatest of levels either, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty hopeful the boy can come here and be a success between now and the end of the season. And I got a sneaky wee feeling he's going to bang 1 or 2 in at the weekend as well. He looks strong, he looks powerful, he's got a bit of height. As a team, we seem to have started getting away from this, try to walk it in all the time as well, and we're starting to put more ball into the box. And guess what? We seem to be getting a wee bit of joy out of it too. Imagine that. Sticking the ball in the box and have a wee bit of a direct approach. Well, we've now got a big tall fella there as well, who hopefully can get himself about there in the box and ruffle up the defenders a bit and get his head on the end of a few of these. So
he should get his head on the end of it, Kev. He's got a fucking 16 foot neck.
He's got, James DeForest has got that.
He still has.
Well, you pair of bastards. But I pretty hopeful he'll be a success while he's here, and if he does do the damage, then we'll see what becomes of it.
Yeah,
when his loan period's up.
But Paul, for you, is it a positive move for Celtic? Again, I think we should all be resigned to the fact that Celtic might not spend as much money as we would all like this in this window as well. It's going to be loans with options to buy. I think the marketplace out there as well don't like that, loans with option to buy. It's loans with intent to buy almost, like you have to buy them after that. But is this now, again, for the money that's been quoted, I think Kevin had mentioned in our chat as well that it's over 40 grand a week that we're covering wages for this guy as well, which basically puts him right up the top, if not the highest earner at Celtic. Now, again, there was some people saying that, and I think, pardon me for saying as well, I think Kev's saying for that money as well, we should be expecting the gods. But is this something as well that Celtic need to break that glass ceiling of this kind of wages kind of stuff as well? The fact that we need to breach and actually spend 40, 50 grand a week as well to bring in players of the calibre they want, and no just kind of be floating about this 30 grand a week stuff.
No, I don't think we do. I think there's players out there that you can buy within that bracket if your scouting system's half decent, which yours clearly isn't. And I think the result last night, the return of Martin O'Neill and the fact we've bought one player, has diluted slightly something that can't be diluted, and that's a fucking appalling performance once again for these clowns in the boardroom in this transfer window. And that shouldn't be that won't be overshadowed, and it certainly shouldn't be, because it's still horrifically bad. The way they run the club's still poor, and it's why I'm just going to come out and say, I don't want Nicholson to get splattered with our fucking Italy last night. Never mind, just shouted it. I don't know, he got his fucking nose broken. There you go. Because the cheek of that man to walk about, I kind of divert it onto that subject. I don't know if you want to cover that or no, Hoggy, the Michael Nicholson stuff, but I'm going to anyway. The cheek of that man. I mean, who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that was a good idea? Right, Michael, let's go to Bologna. In the first place, you shouldn't be there because you should be at Celtic Park working on deals. Yes. Simple as that. You shouldn't even have been there in the first place for no jolly. Then, secondly, you're walking in what looks to be a fairly central part of the city. Now, considering, obviously, I say the broken nose a bit tongue-in-cheek. Right, but for what he's been responsible, and a major part responsible for the treatment of our fans and the pain that he's brought into our fans, And that's no mention of the transfer window. That's more important stuff like spoken about people being arrested, kettled, blah 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 blah. And then obviously the appalling running of the club. He's a strange wee man, isn't he? Because you didn't hear or see from him, and all suddenly rose up in the middle of Bologna walking amongst his support. I think he was pretty lucky that all he got was nothing more. I know me and you had a wee bit to do on it, Hoggy, which I didn't mean to come across as snippy. I know you never took it that way, but I made that comment, right, and then I fucked off out and left it, and I come back and it was sitting for about 2 hours, and I probably marinated it a bit and looked more snippy than it was meant to be. But I think he's pretty fortunate, to be honest. You could have bumped into the wrong people, and he'd have got more than just a wee bit of crack with the boy. That's because that's all. As a bit of fucking light-hearted banter. But so we should never move away from it. We can't lose sight of their appalling running in the club. It's still there. It's as bad as it's ever been. And just because we've got a good result last night, we've got one player in. Then why was it bang? Spot on, Calder. He probably was there. You know what I mean? There's work. It's not like there's no loads of work to be done. So this, I've actually put myself off track. What was the question again?
The question was actually on the new signing, basically.
Okay, right. And I folded it in fucking Italy.
But you know what? Since you made that segue across so nicely, let's spend a wee bit of time on that, because there's been a couple of people that's asked as well for us to cover a wee bit on that. Now, you mentioned there as well about the conversation that we had last night, and the conversation was driven by the video being sent into our chat, right? And basically me kind of replying and saying, does anybody else think that was a dickhead move? Now, the reason I was saying that as well is basically just the guy just going up and kind of doing that whole, all right, mate, how you doing and stuff like that, and then giving a wee bit of the, fucking, who was signing that naked, you fucking shite bag. So he's approaching them with a friendly, jovial kind of thing as well, and then changing the flip on it. That's what I thought that was a bit of a dick move. See if you're just going to say something. See if you've got something to say, Michael, what the fuck are we doing, mate? What are we doing? What I thought was a dickhead move about it was like, get up, Herb's on about him, Michael, how are you doing, mate? And then flipping it on him. That's what I thought the dickhead bit was. Now, again, what I'm saying is that Michael Nicholson deserves to be called out and deserves to be questioned about everything that he's done and doing for Celtic just now. It was just the way that he was approached as a kind of friendly thing, and then it was turned about. That's what I thought. That's a bit of a dickhead move. That
context is everything. Context is everything. That's a fair point you make. I mean, it was an opportunity to actually pull him, and actually get him on camera and say, right, what the fuck's happening here? No, you're expecting too many answers from him, but rather than just give him a bit of abuse, it was. But I just think the whole thing was, who's advising these people? What goes through their minds? I'm not gonna fuck if he's invited or no. He shouldn't be going. Simple as that. It shouldn't be going. Simple as fucking that. As I say, it's not what they're all going to be. Oh, here's Michael Nicholson. Oh, here's Michael. I mean, he's not turned up. I don't think he'd be that a big miss. He doesn't exactly exude personality, does he? You know what I mean? The room's no the same as it should be because Michael's not turned up. I don't think he would have been missed. I don't think he would have been missed if he hadn't went. But they can't read the room, Franny, and that's the thing. That just again, it all ties in for me. The whole picture about where is their heats and all of this. The anger of the fans, the way they've treated the fans, the way the transfer windows went again, and he thinks it was all right just to show up in a place that, I mean, I think the discussions before it were surely they're not going to be stupid enough to go there when there's work to be done. But sure as fate, they're away across the two main players on our board. So, listen, I'm not going to criticise them. That wouldn't have been my approach, personally. I would have took the opportunity to actually get them on camera and say, right, Michael, from a supporter's point of view, no dramas here. What's going on? You're bound to understand what the fuck's going on. The state the club's in, blah, 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 blah. So I think there was a missed opportunity there. You could argue, like, you could also flip that and say, should the man know he had the right to walk up the street without getting harassed? But then so should supporters. Supporters.
And again, Paul, that was the point that you'd mentioned. Obviously, he has been complicit in certain acts against Celtic fans. And again, one of the things that I'd said in counter to that was that And it was like what was the word that was in there as well? It was like supposed kind of brought.
There was a very important word, Hoggy, that I looked
whether they brought it on themselves or not. And that was another thing as well. Again,
I missed the whole weather thing in my first initial response.
No, it's fine, but that's just the whole point of kind of conversations. And again, us amongst the four of us and us amongst the four with the community that's there. What we say is not always how it's picked up on the other end as well. And that's where we need to kind of be careful sometimes, is that what we say can very much be kind of picked up differently. Andy, you were another one that was very much, I think, in the same kind of side as Paul there. That for me, like Nicholson, again, whether to read the room or whether just to kind of take heed of the temperature of Celtic fans, and don't get yourself out there in that position to be there, because there's going to be people that will say stuff to you. Now, again, the guy was pissed, obviously, and the guy he wasn't that bad. It wasn't as if he had an absolute fucking proper go at him. But all it takes is for the wrong person to actually be there as well, and that then becomes a whole different situation. Now, I'm taking it from here to fucking here, mind you, with that. But in your views, well, was that a bad video? Was that a bad view on Celtic fans?
No, I don't know what a big hullabaloo is all about, to be honest with you. Some of the stuff I've seen on X for people saying take a back seat, and if you think this is all right, then you should be ashamed of yourself, and Hun behaviour this, and
fuck off.
Come on, get up. There's 60,000 fans in Celtic Park calling the guy worse than that. That's all right. That's acceptable. That's okay. But a drunk guy that spent the money to go to Bologna to watch Celtic, he's had a wee drink in him, sees the CEO, who is an absolute clusterfuck that can't do his job properly. And to be honest with you, I thought it's quite tame. He called him a shite bag. Big deal. And what? You know, this is the same guy who's standing in the GB. Remember the GB shouting at him at Dundee United that night? You know, I'm pretty sure it was worse than a shite bag. The fact that he's wandering about as well, obviously without any security, shows how naive he is. That he hasn't got a clue exactly how the Celtic support feel about him. And I agree with Paul, he shouldn't be there. He should be at Celtic Park or wherever he's based, working on trying to bring players in. Now, this is a guy that works 24/7, apparently. You know, works Christmas Day and all the rest of it. I'm pretty sure he flew over with the team. They flew over the night before, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Before the game. So he's there on the Wednesday, he's there on the Thursday, and then he's back into Celtic Park on the Friday. That's time he could have been spent.
A long weekend. Probably a long weekend.
Try to get players brought in, get deals done when we've got possibly the most important game of the season on a Sunday. And the fact that we're playing on a Thursday night is down to him and the other board's incompetence to get players in that to support the manager to get us through it. We'd be playing on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and be getting a lot more money for that as well. It's their failures that we're actually... We shouldn't be playing Bologna on a Thursday night. We should have been playing in the Champions League on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It's their failings that we're in the position we're in. So the guy is a paying fan. He's had a wee drink in him and he's called him a shite bag. Big deal. Put your big boy pants on, Michael, and get on with it, you know. You could see him. You can tell he's a gimp. You can just tell his whole demeanour, you know, going to leave me alone. And all of a sudden, everybody feels sorry for him. It's like, come on, he's not exactly scudded on him in the street. Do you know what I mean? He's basically called him a shite bag. I've been called worse myself. Every day I get called that. With other motorists. Not, I swear it even happened today. You just go on with it. Do you know what I mean? It's
fucking bad.
I'm not having all this woke shite about you can't. Mind the good old days where you could call somebody a shite bag and nobody would greet about it. Do you know what I mean? It's get on with it. A load of shite. And these fucking people coming on to X and basically putting out as being a big controversy to fucking getting themselves shown up. Somebody take their phone off them and fucking fling it to fuck and don't let them back on it again. Talk one load of shite.
Just a full Kev comes around there. A couple of first of all, I'm really bad at shouting at lorry drivers, I have to say.
I've noticed.
Particularly when he's playing at the fast lane. What the fuck's that all about? Stay in your own lane.
Not allowed. You're allowed if it's a 2-lane dual carries way, but you're not allowed in the outside lane unless it's a filter lane, Paul. But then you know that could be getting off into two different motorways. Then the outside lane becomes a second lane because the inside lane splits. See, that's
Excellent
what people
explanation,
understood. It happened to me on the M73, yesterday, the day before, and the guy was brake checking me, and I was about a ball hair away for the back end of him, and I wasn't stopping. I've not done anything wrong. He's just been a dick. And no one that I'm murdered by him up. No one that I've got cup saying I hate people on it. See the shit I need to put up with. And this is when things like this happen, that's when I come on and vent fucking frustrations about all different stuff.
Mate, you can vent on here anytime, brother.
One more thing, a great response by the way, Andy. I'll be more lenient with lorry drivers soon. I know that. But who's it? Just on the advice thing. At what point did the conversation take place? Where, mate, right, I'm going to Bologna. Bad move right away. Bad look. Okay, not really what we should be doing. It's almost like fucking Dubai or again. Right, we're going to Bologna. Right, I'm going to then. Worse that I'm going to have a show down the street after the game. When there's thousands of fans here, a lot of them didn't like me. Most of them didn't like me. Where is the leadership? Where's the advice? Where's the Michael tarting the shooter? That's not the best idea, mate. Okay, I mean, that's not the best idea. Okay, I mean, if you're going to go Bologna, if you must go, but you shouldn't, into the stadium, out the stadium, then fuck about in the streets. Okay, I mean,
Paul, I remember a time again, Tommy Burns DVD again, always refer to this kind of piece of absolute beautiful footage. And you can always remember when Gordon Strachan was there and he was speaking about him and Tommy and Pendry, and they had like a big security guy there with them. And it seemed as if they all got on very, very well. But you're absolutely right that these guys as well will have some sort of security there now. If he's made the decision to just go and do that as well, then fine, fair play. But I just want to just say, Graham McMillan, 8880. Listen, brother, as well, I'm so happy that we are providing you with the distraction on this Friday night as well. I hope everything's okay. I'm not wanting to dive into it as well. If you want to give us a wee message into the email address, I'll just put that up there. Pardon me. Pardon me, CSC Podcast 2025.
You're being funny, Graham, but that's what you get for brake checking me.
Let us know how you're doing, brother.
Aye, all the best, mate. All the best.
Kevin, last bit for you on the video, mate. You seem to be more in my kind of camp of that's not really a great look as well. What's your thoughts on it? Again, maybe 24 hours out from it.
I can see the two boys' point, but I mean, see if you're going to make a dick of yourself, fucking do it right or don't do it at all. You know what I mean?
Who's making the fan or Nicholson?
The fan, he just made a cunt of himself. Just embarrassed himself. You know what I mean? See if you're going to give him a bit. Give him a bit of dog job just properly, or as Paul says, ask him a couple of serious questions. And see how he answers. But see, just to...
He'll do that, Kev.
See to be all nice and then just turn like that. It's fucking... I think it's getting bored.
See at the very start of that video, Kev, if you look at it again, it was so awkward that somebody even wanted to speak to him. He was like... There's the initial right away, because the guy's got a baby on him, so he's cautious right for the start, right? But did he do anything really that bad? Really?
No, he didn't. No, but see, by the same token, see if I was Michael Nicholson, I'd have been. I'd still have been there, but I certainly wouldn't have been floating about the street with that. And that. I mean, I would have been being very discreet.
You'd have been in the pub.
I'd mentioned ultimately, Kevin Hoggies are probably taking the right stance, but the point being here that he's engineered a situation that, again, comes back to advice for me. I mean, who the fuck does it? Was he not at the AGM? I mean, did they not see the anger in the room? And then everything spiraled since then. It's madness.
No.
Guys, there's a lot of different things in there. I just wanted to get the temperature again, 24 hours out since our wee conversation there. But I'm going to move on because I just wanted to jump on Hearts. But there's two comments that we've had this evening as well. I'm just going to ask your opinion. And guys, please, I know that we are very, very much one as well for taking the opinion and running with it. I'm just wanting very, very quick opinions on this. Now, Cara Gray had mentioned something earlier on as well, that if we lose on Sunday, do you think Sunday's like the the decision point as well, that if we win on Sunday, we're going to get players in. If we don't win on Sunday, we won't get players in, because if we're 9 points behind, it might be seen as a difficult kind of task. So we might not actually go full on for players. If we do win on Sunday, Kevin, is that something that you think if we win, then we'll basically bring in more people to get us over the line this season? Do you think that Sunday's game is that almost swinging pendulum moment?
No. And the reason I say no is that we've got a very good chance of progressing in European competition as well. And if we can do that on Thursday night, another couple of decent signings could be the difference of progressing even further in the next round. So no, I don't think it was I don't think the result on Sunday should have any bearing on my transfer activity. Bearing in mind as well, every transfer window you should always be looking to improve.
You should.
January's no the.
I'm going to again just very, very quick replies to this as well, because I know time wise as well we're running a wee bit over what I'd like to be. Andy, is Sunday's game the same as Kevin? Is Sunday's game a decision maker for you as well, where the fact if we win, get back in, we'll get more people in. If we don't, they won't spend their money?
That question shouldn't even need to get answered. We need players in, no matter if we're 9 points behind the row, or 6 points behind, or 3 points behind, or 3 points or 6 points in front. We need players in. So no matter what happens on Sunday, the players should already be in at this point anyway. It shouldn't even be gone this far. Yep. The window opened on the 1st of January, and that's us just got a first player in. I know the way the
second
thing me, the one player, the second one, the right back. But again, the guy we required most was a striker, and that's us just going back just about to play his first game on Sunday. So it's a poor position to be in when it comes to recruitment. Understand things are fit to be ripped up and started again, but that's down to these half-wits that run the club that were in this position, and they're fit to do that. Martin's got the responsibility to look after the team. Sean's got the responsibility to coach a team, and they're having to go out and scout players, look at them, get deals done. I'll put them on to the guys that are meant to get the deals done. He's too busy away in fucking Italy getting fucking tickled up the fanny with some drunk guy. I'm sorry, but we shouldn't even be in this position. I think realistically, we go 6 points behind. It's going to be very difficult for us.
We are 6 points behind.
It's going to be 6 behind, not be 9.
Sorry, 9. I meant 9. Then it becomes very, very difficult. It's difficult as it is. For me, it's a must-win game. I think I wouldn't even bring recruitment into it at this point, whether they're going to bring players in or no. We struggle to bring players in, even when we're in a good position in the league. Now, I mind this kind of being in second place. So Sunday is a huge game.
Right, Paul, I'm going to go for the third chance as well of keeping this nice and small.
I'll keep it really short.
For you, is Sunday that kind of crucial point as well, that if we win, we get more players. If we don't, we don't.
The fact, I'll keep it really short. The fact we're answering that question makes me revisit Michael Nicholson's trip to Italy, and I wish they'd got his fucking jaw snapped.
Right. So, second question that was brought up here as well. Paul, I'm going to stick with you on this one. Given what Martin O'Neill has done in his 2 interim times as manager of Celtic, right? He obviously had his period before as well when he was permanent manager. He came in, settled as after Brendan, passed over to Nonsi. Nonsi passed it back to him as well, and he's going to settle it again. There was a comment, and again, pardon me for who this was that made it, because I wrote the comment down but didn't actually say who it was. I wrote down who it was. Does this, for you, confirm the fact that Martin O'Neill is the best manager that Celtic's had since Big Jock Stein?
Bizarre stuff, Jack.
I think undoubtedly. We've had very important managers at important times. From Janssen, obviously, stopping 10 in a row. Brendan Rodgers coming in. But I think Martin O'Neill was the reason we're even having these current conversations about the fact that we've been dominant for the last 20 years or whatever. Because Martin O'Neill came in and broke the stranglehold the hand bastards had over us. He fought fire with the players that he brought in. He changed the attitude and the culture that had seeped through the club for too long, a losing mentality, even under the late great Tommy Burns. And he changed all of that and put us on the road to where we are now. And he's came back twice now to save the day. So absolutely, I think there's anybody apart from Big Joke. Even, I mean, obviously, folk would argue Willie Mealy, but that's a long time ago. But I think, I mean, to be the manager for 50 years, whatever it was, is fucking incredible.
We're saying since Big Joke done his stuff.
Oh, since Big Joke, all right. There's no debate, Hoggy. There's nobody even close. Nobody even close.
If Barry was here, Barry would be sitting stewing at his beans as well, saying as well, the best manager ever, the most elite manager we've ever had as well as Brendan Rodgers. Kevin, would you agree with what the comment earlier? What would you say with the comment earlier that what Martin O'Neill's done in these two interim periods proves that he is the best manager Celtic's had since Big Jock? Would you agree or not?
I would agree with that, aye. I would agree with it, aye.
Andy?
100%.
Aye, I would agree. I think Rodgers obviously had a good record as well with trophies, but let's be honest, he didn't face heavy competition.
No.
Did Rodgers? I don't think. But saying that, he did bring a lot of success to the football club. But I think Martin's got to be for me, the best.
I think what you say there, Andy, is the deal sealer, because Martin O'Neill came in against, and I hate to say it, they were cheating and tax evading and all the rest of it. But Martin O'Neill was faced with a club that were financially doting Scottish football. And still managed to deal with that. And Brendan Rodgers came in at a time when they had been busted for their financial doting and were still suffering the consequences as a new club and everything that comes with that. So no, it's for me. I know Barry would have no doubt put up a decent case, but we're all out their opinions. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. It's as simple as that.
What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to put a poll out on YouTube, guys. So for any of the, obviously, the commenters here, you've had your say there on the comments, but I'm going to put a poll out, actually. We're going to see what the temperature is out there in the wider audience, and we'll see what it is. Who's been the best manager since Big Jockstein? I'll put a few options in there as well, because I always loved my Tommy Burns. Wasn't a successful manager if you like to look at the amount of trophies.
Great football.
For what he did for Celtic and the football. So I'll put some different options out there as well. But
too nice. You would argue Tommy Burns. Too nice. Martin O'Neill had that bit of the bastard about him. He needed a Sutton. He needed a Harkson. He needed a Lenny in there. He needed an Alan Thompson. Bad losers.
Aye. And see when you think back 25 fucking years ago, and he was spending 6 million in this and 6 million in that, and now he's fucking begging them to spend 6 bob.
I know.
Gentlemen, we've had a good chat tonight as well. I'm going to keep the last part brief again, because we're just 6 minutes basically shy of 2 hours. And I want to keep it on 2 hours. Sunday then, what's your thoughts on Sunday as well? Kevin, I'm going to come to you first as well, whether you want to give us a synopsis of it or just a simple result that you're thinking. What's your thoughts on Sunday, mate?
Listen, see, between now and Sunday, everybody needs to just chill out a wee bit. Don't worry about that. It's a must win, or we can't lose, or we need to at least draw. Come Sunday, going to pump the diets. 3-1. Just what I tell you on Monday night, it's going to be 3-1. See you Sunday night, 5 o'clock. Going to sit on the couch, big cigar, bottle of beer. We're only going to be 3 points behind. Before you know it, we'll be top of the tree at the fucking end of February, and all be rosy in the garden. There'll be a few signings in. And then all we need at the end of the day is just fucking home in, on the title, on the cup, quarter-finals in Europe, and then we'll get rid of that bastard board.
Love it, Kev, love it. Paul, yourself, mate, Sunday, give me your thoughts. Your thoughts, sorry.
You don't want his socks.
I had kind of Alistair. I'm going to go with Alistair there. Alistair said 3-1. I think we're due a performance there. I think, and Malloy averages fairly on I think we're due a performance. I think Thursday will work in our favour rather than against us, even though tiring and all that stuff. I think the team will take a look. Aye, Alistair, I'm going to stick with you, matey. You know your onions, pal. I'm going 3-1 with Alistair.
And last but not least, Andy, what's your thoughts, brother?
I had 3-1 written down, but everybody's gone for 3-1, so I'm going to take it up a notch and going to go 4-1 Celtic.
Got the baldy trucker.
Celtic, Hearts 0, Celtic 3. I think it will be
Oh, how good would that be, man? That just propels everything, doesn't it? It really does.
I would love to see the thing. It's just it's nullifying them is the thing for me as well. See if we can actually put in a performance that nullifies them after the goals that are scored against us and just scoring 2 or 3 as well. So I'm going to say Celtic 3, Hearts 0 for Sunday. Either way, gentlemen, it's what Celtic's done this week as well has basically, I think, got us really back into a really, really positive frame of mind for Celtic. It's done a lot for everybody, I think, as well, just to get us uplifted for what's going to be a really, really tough time, I think, in the run into the league. But guys, I think getting into this game on Sunday as well, with the way Hearts are the new, obviously injuries and stuff like that, and the way Celtic are the new buzzing, it's the ideal time to play them. Whether it's at Tynecastle or not, it's a difficult place to play. This will be an absolute momentous result as well if we can turn them out there as well, which is what I fully expect. So, gentlemen, I'll call it quits here as well. Thank you very, very much for your time this evening, Kevin, Andy, and our Paul. Gentlemen, anything last to say before we bid farewell tonight?
Aye, fuck the Rangers.
Fuck the Rangers. Andy?
You should be allowed to call somebody a shite bag without getting harangued on social media.
Oh, it'd be worse than that. Worse than that.
Paul, what about yourself, brother?
I don't think so, Hoggy. I think that's me all talked out. Very quick tours, right, isn't it?
It's been a very, very quick tour. Lorna's just come in there and saying £10 for every goal Celtic scored on Sunday to the CSP's Good Cause Fund. We'll send them Monday's pod or wherever you guys are next on. We will be on Monday to celebrate what a fantastic fucking week of football it's been at Celtic Park. So, gentlemen, again, thank you very much for your time. Our community, as always, thank you very, very much for your time. For all the members out there, if you haven't already made your prediction for which minute Celtic will score first on Sunday, please do so. It could net you an Atalantes t-shirt. So please, before kick-off on Sunday, get your guess in for who is going to, for when the first goal is going to be scored by Celtic on Sunday. Guys,
14 minutes.
Thank you very much. As always, guys, stay blessed, stay Celtic, stay safe, and stay CSP. We will see you guys on Monday for a really, really good fucking chat about beating Hearts on this Sunday.
Yes.
God bless you. CSP is out here.